Howdy, I'm Gary, Dillon Precision's Human Manual. While Dillon Precision does not have a bottom end reloader, we certainly have a top end reloader, and the RL1100 is the machine that fits that bill. It's a progressive, 8-station, auto-indexing machine capable of loading from 32 ACP up through 500 Smith & Wesson Magnum and handgun, and from 300 Blackout and 223 up to 6.5 Creedmoor and 308 in rifle. The typical operator will easily load 1,000 to 1,200 rounds an hour. Now this machine is different from the XL750 in that it incorporates a built-in primer pocket swager, which removes the crimp on US military boxer prime cases so that you don't have to process your brass for that as a separate step. Additionally, with the 8 stations, you're able to add more options to the machine. It's a shorter stroke, so it cycles faster. Now the tool head on this machine is held on by a large bolt. So to change out tool heads and leave your dies intact, simply remove that bolt. The tool head lifts off, and again, your dies stay set up and adjusted. The RL1100 uses standard 7/8-14 dies, so if you're loading a cartridge that Dillon does not make dies for, you can use another brand of dies on this machine. Now the RL1100 has a 2-year warranty. First, I'm going to demonstrate each individual position on the machine using just one piece of brass. Once we've gone through those, then we'll load it up and progressively load on it, filling all 8 stations on the machine. So first, piece of brass in the tube. When the handle comes down, plunger comes back, picks up a case, shell plate goes forward, shell plate indexes to the first station, resize, deprime. Handle comes down, pushes out the old primer, come up. Next station is the swaging station. This runs a swage rod up into the primer pocket to remove the crimp on boxer prime cases. At the same time, there's a rod that runs down to hold the case down in the shell plate so that you don't damage the rim of the case, or more importantly, don't damage the shell plate. Okay. Now we've advanced over here to the priming station. So when you pull the handle down, it seats the primer into the case. Because you're seating primers mechanically, you can use a wrench in the station between the sizing die and the swage backup die to mechanically adjust your primer seating depth so you can fine-tune it as snugly as you want. Okay. Case comes around to the powder measure. The powder measure is case activated. The case pushes up on a floating piston, activates the measure to drop powder, and on handgun calibers it also flares the case mouth. The fail-safe rod does not activate the powder measure. It only serves to retract the powder bar to pick up the next charge. So come down, powder bar comes out towards you, come up, fail-safe rod pulls it back. Now we're at the 6th station. The 6th station is normally empty, but you can add options such as this low powder alarm, which drops in on top of the powder charge, and if it's either too high or too low, it makes a real annoying sound to let you know that something is amiss. But for our purposes, we're going to pull this rod out because it's noisy. So, and optionally, you can add a Mr. Bullet feeder to this station as well. So now, come around to station 7, set a bullet on the case, it's seated. Station 8, separate crimp, then the loaded round hits the ejector and into the bin. So now that you've seen each station individually, let's load up some more brass and let's run it progressively for a few cycles. Alrighty. Down, case into the shell plate, resize, deprime, swage, seat the primer, drop powder, powder check or bullet feed, bullet seat, separate crimp. On the upstroke, eject. At this point, every time you cycle the handle on the machine, it's ejecting a loaded cartridge. That's the low primer alarm telling me I'm down to 3 primers left in the primer magazine tube. High speed, low drag, top of the line Dillon RL1100 machine. This will keep any competitive shooter, machine gun shooter, or family of shooters well stocked in ammunition for years and years to come. Dillon Precision has an answer for everybody's reloading requirements. Please go to dillonprecision.com, take a look. If you have any questions, call us, 800-223-4570. We're happy to answer any questions for you. Thanks. Adios.